It is Tina, and I wanted to, it's been a while that I went live, so I thought it would be good. I'm a little out of breath because I just came around my counter, tripped over my lighting system. It's great. Anyway, I think it's National Zucchini Day. I think, if I'm wrong, it's zucchini season. And I thought it'd be fun to show you guys what goes on behind the scenes here. So I have my setup here. I don't have the right angles to really show you what's going on the counter, so I'm just going to sort of lift everything up. But I have here, you can see, some sliced zucchini. I have one zucchini, and I'm actually working on revamping an old blog recipe. So with that said, I am not at my stove because it's not working. Hence the stoveless meals. Actually, the stoveless meals came before the stove stopped working. It was, I guess you put it out there and it happens. Anyway, I'm going to basically make my zucchini parmesan recipe, which is, I usually make in a larger casserole dish, but since I am stoveless, I'm going to actually cook this one in the toaster oven, which should be interesting. So what I'm going to do is basically tell you step by step what I'm doing. I've taken an entire zucchini, and it's like a medium-sized zucchini, and I just sliced it vertically. I would say these are probably like 1/4 of an inch. You can slice them round too. I just prefer to slice them vertically. And I'm going to, what I have here on my countertop, I actually have an induction burner, and working with my saute pan here. My induction burner may beep and it's a little loud, so I apologize. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is, like I said, I had one zucchini. I kind of pre-chopped it. It was really supposed to just be behind the scenes. I have one egg. That's it. One egg scrambled. And I have a dish of flour, salt, and pepper. And I basically have my stovetop, my faux stovetop, have it on like medium heat. So I'm basically going to, so all this is one egg scrambled in a dish. I basically just scrambled it till it was, you know, really mixed up, and there's not a lot of that, I don't know what you call that gooey stuff, you know how it gets kind of stringy. So it's really, really mixed. You can add 2 eggs. I'm just doing 1 small zucchini because I'm just going to cook it in this little ramekin inside the toaster oven. Hopefully it works. So I'm going to dip, I wish this was a little higher. I'm going to dip this, you don't want it to be too much. You're going to dip it in a little bit of flour, like so. And then in my egg wash, I'll show you what it looks like before. I was really hoping you'd be able to see all of this. Okay. Well, it was just supposed to be like a behind the scenes. So every now and again, I try to get on the blog and redo recipes from when I first started. So this zucchini parmesan is one of them. All right, I'm going to put this. Actually, this isn't hot enough. Hold on, I'm going to turn this up. It's working, like I said, with an induction burner, so I got to get used to it. Just going to give it a second. So I have in this pan a little olive oil and canola oil, not too much. I'm using right now the 5-quart saute pan made by T-fal. It's from their Pro Grade series, and it has this thermospot technology. In a minute, I'll take it down and I'll show you guys what it looks like. But it basically tells you when your pan is at the right temperature to start cooking. Which is, look, I'm talking and making a boo-boo. That's okay. All right, we're going to dip this in a little flour. And then a little egg wash. You're just getting like a crunchy coating on this. That's all you're doing. There we go. It's sizzling now. I got to turn this up even more. I'm not used to cooking with this induction burner. So I have 1 medium zucchini. I've sliced it up vertically, and then I cut it down horizontally, because I'm going to fit it in this little ramekin. If you were making this like on a larger scale, which the recipe is on my blog, you would definitely use probably 4 medium, maybe 5 zucchini. But it's that time of year, and you know, we're all looking for zucchini recipes. Oh, at least I am. Anyway, does anybody else have any zucchini recipes that they want to share? Ideas? What do you do with all that zucchini? Some of us have gardens. All right, these are going to go pretty quick. And I've been using my toaster oven a lot. It's amazing. Last night I cooked a pork tenderloin in my toaster oven. I swear. I was so amazed. I seared it on the stovetop. And then I am making zucchini parmesan. So I basically took a zucchini, 1 medium zucchini. I laid it down horizontally and I sliced it. And I put some flour and 1 egg. I probably should have put 2 actually. 1 egg in like 2 flat dishes, like pie dishes. And I'm gonna just turn this down. Now it's too hot. Okay. And I'm dipping them in the flour and then the egg wash. It's not actually an egg wash, it's just scrambled egg. I'm dipping them in the flour and then the egg. And I'm gonna use my fork here to turn them over. I need to definitely get a better setup here. But it's been a while, it's been a long summer, and it's been a while that I've been able to come on Facebook and go live on this page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop these zucchini here on this dish. I'm going to put some more in. I'm going to cook them. Once they're all done, I'm just going to take a basic tomato sauce, and we're just going to layer it like a Parmesan. Like it's almost like a casserole, I guess, would be the English American version of what I'm making. But I'm making it in a smaller Ramekin because I don't have a stove. So if anybody wants to donate a stove to Cheftini's Kitchen, they're so expensive. I'm in the process of looking. I've had a great run with my stove. It's like 16 years old, just about as old as my son. Actually, it might be 15 years old. And it's been great, but it's, you know, it's gone. It basically does whatever it wants. Turns on by itself. We've actually had to unhook it. So we are stove shopping currently. And I'm just dipping in the flour and in the egg wash. And I'm gonna get a couple of these going, and then I'm just gonna show them to you. So this is what we have going on. I wish I had I have a little connector for my tripod that allows me to change the angles of the phone. And of course, this was so impromptu and so pop-up, as they call it, that I really couldn't find it. It was stashed away. But I am going to show you what this all looks like. I'm going to try to just pull these out before they get too crispy. So I don't bread this. I say we, but I don't bread this. You can see it. I have a little lighting here. I'm hoping that makes it better. Let me try to pick one up. These are going to get baked again, so I can use my hands. Can you see that? It's just a little, you know, coating on the zucchini. All right. And it's kind of puffs up when it bakes in the oven. So I'm going to put a layer of sauce with a little thin down with a little bit of water on the bottom of this Ramekin. I'm going to layer a few slices of this sauteed zucchini, of this fried zucchini, I guess it is. I've tried this in the oven. I'm going to turn my burning here. I've tried this in the oven, like baking these, and it works. They just they tend to stick a little bit, but you could definitely put this on parchment paper and bake it in the oven. It's totally doable, a little healthier. But we don't eat like this every day, so really, once in a while, it's okay to treat yourself, I think. Everything in moderation, right? Everything in moderation. I think that's the problem we all have. We don't do anything in moderation anymore, and when you don't do things in moderation, it becomes a lot harder to enjoy things. So if you have the ability to just do things a little bit at a time, you can enjoy things like I'll every now and again have a fried food dish. And we try not to eat a lot of fried food, really do. But it's summer, and can you hear that sizzling? It's really sauteing up here. I have about, I don't know, maybe 6 more to go here. I may actually need to get one more egg. I think I'm running out of egg. Flour, I'm okay. And you really don't want to dredge this in flour. You really just want to lightly coat it. See, it's you can, I don't know if you can see if it's too bright, but you really just want a light coating of flour. You still want to be able to see the zucchini through the flour. And then you're going to just give it this egg wash. I'm going to throw another one in here. All right. Take some of these out. So I was telling you guys about my saute pan, which is made by T-fal. They actually sent them to me, just full disclosure. But it happened to be, you know, I like to talk about products that I really enjoy using and that I actually do use. And I had a few pans already in my kitchen that I used. If you go back on my blog, you can see back to like 2013, I was using at least one of the bigger saute pans. So, you know what? I'm going to turn this down. So while this cooks, I'm going to grab an egg, but I'm using this saute pan from T-fal. I think it's the 5-quart pan, and T-fal, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're one of the first, if not the first, non-stick manufacturers of non-stick cookware. But this one is, I can't really show you now, but it's titanium, and it's got a really good conductor of heat. But what's really great about this pan is, and I'm going to show you, I have one in the cabinet that is cooler, and I won't burn my hands, is that it has this thermostat technology, which in the middle of the saute pans, there's a red circle with dots. And when you heat up your pans, the dots disappear, and that is what tells you that that you're at the right temperature to seal in flavors and saute whatever it is that you're cooking. So I really enjoy using them. They're really easy to clean. You know, like with any non-stick cookware, you really want to be careful. I'm super careful with the utensils that I use. Although I'm using this metal fork, I'm super, I have some kitchen skills. I'm really careful not to scrape it or scratch it, because you want to keep it from getting damaged and any of that coating coming off. So I'm going to saute a couple more of these. I may actually make it with this egg wash. You could also add like a tablespoon of water if it starts to get too thick. All right. I think I'm going to need to crack an egg in there. I'm going to hold off on putting that one in. I'm going to take this one out, and I'm going to unhook my mic. I'm going to give my hands a rinse. Just stay tuned a minute. I'll be right back, because this is live cooking, and you know, I'm actually in my kitchen cooking. I just dropped a link in the description there, just showing you the pan that I'm using. All right, so here's what we got. We have our zucchini. You can see, hopefully you can. It's nice and fried up. If you were doing this in a bigger like casserole dish or like a baking dish, you do not need to cut them in half, because I'm using this tiny ramekin to cook this. That's why I've cut them in half. This is also how I make my zucchini in carrozza. And instead of putting this in a casserole dish, I would take these 2 slices, these 2 pieces. I would take 2 pieces like this, right? I would put pesto or my green sauce in there, fontina or provolone mozzarella cheese. I would sandwich them together, and then I would dip them in the flour, the egg wash, and saute them and make a zucchini in carrozza grilled cheese, which is the bomb. So good. Can I say that? Anyway, I've mixed up my egg here, and I'm going to put that in. And while that's, I'm just going to do the last few here. So just to show you guys, I feel like I totally failed here. Fail, as my kids would say. Because I thought I was going to be able to really show you. Cooking at the counter I thought would be easier. Wrong. Although I do like cooking with my, even if my oven was working, I do kind of like cooking with my induction burner here. And it's better for me in terms of, okay. So here we go. I'm going to probably, so what I do is from time to time as I go through my website to see which pictures, which recipes I've done when I first started, and I try to revamp them. Not even revamp them, I take them over, nicer pictures. I've learned a little bit of food photography along the way, adding cute little videos like this to them. Live videos is always a great, oh look, I'm doing it again, I'm putting it in my egg. Apparently I don't know how to multitask, which is not good for me, but okay. Flour, egg, flour, egg. You know, you don't want these to be too thick. If you cut them just thin enough, they'll puff up like a souffle when, they're going to puff up like a souffle when you cook them. You know, so if you were making 2 of these in your toaster oven and or oven, I mean, they make cute little individualized Parmesan. You could do this eggplant. I do my eggplant this way, my eggplant parm. I don't really bread it often. I like to make this little egg wash. All right, now that we're done with this part, I'm gonna get rid of these. I'm just gonna drop them in my sink here. Oh, I could stay mic'd and wash my hands quickly. So like I said, that was 1 medium zucchini. I'm gonna layer this up inside my little dish here. So I just wanted to show you guys. So I dropped a link in the comments below. You can see the pan that I'm using. This is another pan from T-fal. You see that red dot in there? I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so that red dot has like little dots or lines going around the center of the outer. So there's the T, and then there's a black circle, and then within that red dot on the outer edges are like little lines that go along that circular pattern. And as you heat your pan, these dots disappear, and when those dots disappear, that's how you know that your pan is at the perfect temperature to start searing, sauteing, whatever it is that you're doing. It basically is telling you when you can put your food in. So you want to get your pan nice and hot, and it's really important to have hot pans. You know, you have your pans at the right temperature, especially when you're sauteing food and frying, of course. So my zucchini are cooking away, and if you're just joining us, and by us I mean me and the few other people we have watching, we are making zucchini parmesan in the toaster oven in my little ramekin here, because my stove is broken. And what we've done is what I've done is taken a zucchini, laid it down vertically, sliced it about less than 1/4 inch thick, like so. And I had 2 dishes here before, one with like egg. I used 1 egg, but I really needed 2. 2 eggs and flour in the other one with salt and pepper. I basically dredged it in the flour, dipped it in the egg, and then sauteed it in a little olive oil and canola. I have a mix of olive oil and canola. And I'm putting them here on this dish. I was hoping my camera would be low enough for everybody to see my countertop, but that didn't quite work out. So, but hopefully as we get to the assembly process, I can give you a better view. Anyway, it's really supposed to be a behind the scenes. Haven't really been live in a while cooking, and you know, because summer basically, and because life takes over, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to pop this zucchini parmesan in my toaster oven, which is off to my left here. and it's going to be sauce, zucchini, mozzarella, Parmesan, sauce, zucchini, as many layers as I can get into this little ramekin, and I'm winging it. I'm basically going to bake it in my toaster oven. I'm guessing it's going to be like 350, 375. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it's going to come out. I was saying last night, I cooked a pork tenderloin in there. I actually seared it up on the stove first and then finished it off in there, and it was perfect. Who knew? Who knew the toaster oven? I didn't know that the toaster oven could be such a valuable tool. I guess when you are faced with adversity like no stove, you can make things work. So anyway, my battery says that it's low, of course. I thought I had a pretty charged battery, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to take these out, and what I'm going to do is just try to clean off my workspace here. So these are mostly done. You know, I can't see. Can I see my comments? I'm not sure if I can. I think I can. Oh no, I think I can, because I feel like the little engine I could. But I think I can because Karen was here on before and she commented. So, all right, I am using this burner for like the 3rd time ever. I think I've turned it off. And I'm just going to move this off to the side. And I talked a little bit about my, this is actually not hot, my saute pan that I'm using. It's the 5-quart saute pan. It's the Pro Grade series from T-fal. Full disclosure, they sent me these pots, and I love them, pots and pans, especially the saute pans with the thermospot technology. Okay, I'm going to move this off to the side. If you're interested in these saute pans or anything, you can just check the comments below. I dropped a link in there. It's my affiliate account, so I do get credit if you purchase them. But the money that I get from that helps me create videos and maintain my blog and buy food to make recipes when I'm not doing sponsored work. Anyway, and thank you for your support. So, not really a great salesperson. I'm a better cook. Just going to move this off to the side here. Okay. The next thing I need to do is grab some things out of the refrigerator because we're totally winging this. So this is what we're doing. I'm going to unhook my mic because I'm not going to be talking. I'm just going to take this off. So bear with me like just 2 minutes, okay? All right. So basically, winging it per usual. I have some fresh basil. I have some grated Parmesan cheese. I do have some shredded, I'm sorry for the noise, some shredded mozzarella cheese, which I'm going to just put in a bowl because we're not going to product plug here. We're just going to, although I do love so many different brands of cheeses, it's so hard to decide. So I don't have sauce, but I'm going to show you what I do, and I don't have any. Hopefully we're still live. Okay, so I forgot to turn my phone on silent. I'm looking into getting my little food mill out here. Oh my gosh, I could drop another product plug in there. Then you guys would really love me. But I love this thing. Food mill, OXO makes it.
It looks like I didn't hear you correctly.
And Alexa.
Please try again.
Alexa's talking to me.
Sorry, it looks like I didn't hear you correctly. Please try again.
Alexa, cancel. Wow, it's a scary world we live in, isn't it? Wasn't speaking to her. So I basically, I think a few days ago, I had opened a can of my favorite San Marzano tomatoes, but I didn't need them all. So I basically saved them inside of this container. And this is basically just tomato. You're going to be surprised how flavorful. I do this with pizza too. I put it in my little food mill. I'm just going to turn this a minute. If I really needed more, I could grab it, but hopefully this will be enough. And I just put it through the mill. And the only thing I'm gonna add to this is olive oil, some fresh basil, and some salt for flavor. You could add pepper. I do this all the time. I do this when I don't have any ready-made sauce. It's basically a no-cook sauce. I'm sorry for all the scraping noise. I've probably got about 1.5 cups in here. May need more, but I'm gonna wing it. And then this is basically how I roll, people. And one of the reasons why I'm a decent cook is because I work well under pressure, I guess, and I'm not super duper organized. I don't know why I just said super duper, but I'm not super organized. It works for me. It may not work for everyone. I'm just gonna put this on my draining board here. Oh, you know what I need? I wonder if I can make it. Oh, you know what? I may be able to just make it to my little spray bottle. I do need my olive oil. Oh, wait, so that's the good thing about this. This I actually just filled up. This is actually olive oil in here. I'm gonna just open up. I usually use this to spray my food. All right, so here's what we got. Here's the tomatoes. I'm basically going to give it a few tablespoons of oil, okay? Just mixing it up. I feel like if I lifted this board like 6 inches, maybe a foot, you guys could see everything. Such a bummer. Okay, but I want to follow through on this. So, and don't forget, if there's any juice left inside, whatever it is, you can use this with your favorite sauce. It doesn't have to be the way I'm doing this. This is just how I do it. I do need to grab my salt, which is in my cabinet. I'm gonna give it like, well, that might be too much. That's probably a teaspoon of salt. Meant to have a little flavor. You don't want it to be too salty because you're gonna put the cheese in there. It is a Parmesan, right? And what is a Parmesan without Parmesan cheese? And of course, actually, I think this needs a little, it's just a teensy bit more oil. So maybe we did like I did like 3 tablespoons of oil. I have no idea who we is. I'm always saying we. Okay, so you can do this a couple of different ways. I'm just gonna pat down this basil. Just, you know, basil. I got this tip from the farmer's market. I didn't go last weekend, but the weekend before. So when you buy basil, you buy it fresh, like in a container like this, you know, and it's all like moist on top. The farmer at the one of the farm, you know, the vegetable stand told me to wipe down the inside of the container so that you don't have too much moisture on the basil. And he also told me, which I didn't do, I actually just got this yesterday, to punch holes inside on the container that you're using so that it can breathe and it will last longer. I thought that was a pretty good tip. Okay, so here's my ramekin. Now you can see that's my zucchini. Okay. Here's the sauce I made. I mean, it's basically a raw sauce. I've rinsed and patted down some basil. You can do this one of 2 ways. You could layer the basil while you're layering the zucchini, which my family would not go for. I would love it, but they wouldn't. So we want to keep everybody happy. Look, I mean, this is how I chop, like an old Italian lady. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's basically what I'm doing. Just cutting right into the bowl. Because that's, you know, there's no professional training here. It's just, you know, I spent years watching everyone cook that I basically cook the same way they do. In a sense, in essence, I am mimicking what I learned. All right, you don't need more than 2 or 3 basil leaves. You really just want it for flavor. And zucchini and basil go so well together, so can't go wrong here. We have a lot of picky eaters. I'm not putting any garlic in here. You could grate a little fresh garlic in here. I just don't want to. Just keeping this super simple. whatever. If you want to put parsley in here, you could put parsley. So when I make pizza, this is what I do. I make this little San Marzano sauce, this raw sauce, olive oil, basil, salt, and that's it. And it's delicious. I promise you won't be disappointed. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is see if I can, my dog's about to go bonkers. I'm not sure what he's barking at. Hey doggy, doggy, doggy. No barking, because we're live on Facebook and everybody won't be able to hear me. I'm just wondering if I take this down a notch, if you'll be able to see me assemble this, because that's like the whole like thing. All right, so here we go. I'm hoping you can see that. It's not really dirty. I just had the spoon in there from making this thing, the sauce. All right. The only thing I want to say is when you do this, when you put the sauce on the bottom of the ramekin, try not to put too much of that basil, because then it starts to burn. That was a tip I got many years ago, I think from my mother-in-law. You don't want it to burn. So look, we're not going to put too much. Don't forget the zucchini is going to release a lot of liquid too. Okay, you can still even see, you can still see the bottom of this, okay? I feel like I'd be better off taking this off the tripod and showing you guys. All right, I'm not even gonna thin this down. I'm gonna try to get a little bit more of the, all right, I probably put like 2-3 tablespoons. Now keep in mind, I'm using a ramekin that's gonna go in the toaster oven. This is not a giant casserole zucchini parmesan, which again, I'm not plugging my blog, but if you go on there, there is a recipe for an entire zucchini parmesan. This is just a revamp. I may call it Toaster Oven Tuesday, actually. I think I just came up with that because my oven broke. And I know you guys are tired of hearing me saying that, but it's the truth. You know what else you could do, which I don't have right now, but I think this would be delicious? You could do this with tomatoes. You could slice like heirloom tomatoes. You don't even have to do them in the egg wash like I did, although I might. You could layer them in between with the zucchini. Actually, I just came up with this as I'm talking to you. All right, so I'm going to layer them. One, I'm going to try to do the bigger ones on the bottom. 2, it's okay if they overlap. 3, I think I have about 3 here on the bottom. I think I'm good with 3 on the bottom. And I am going to like tuck them in on the sides, and I'm going to come around. I'm going to show you guys what this looks like, because I'm actually going to cut this guy in half. There we go. Just so it kind of nestles around the edges. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So I'm basically taking that, slicing it vertically like this, so that it nestles around the edges of this ramekin, which is sort of oval shaped, just so that we have all of the little pieces there. Gosh, I wish I had some tomato. I thought that was really such a brilliant idea. Okay. All right, here you go, guys. I'm hoping you can see that. Hoping there's not too much light there. All right. It's so hard to get, you know, when you start, I had this brilliant idea that, we're going to start a blog and we're going to write these recipes, and, I'm going to build it and everybody's going to come and they're going to want to see it. And I'm like, the blogger, like 999,000. And what you don't realize when you start blogging, any kind of blogging, is you don't only have to know how to do what it is you are an expert at. For example, I like to make certain types of recipes and I'm good at that. But I also didn't know, I'm not a writer. So writing these like 350 word blog posts to become searchable and Google friendly is one thing. You have to know that. You have to know photography. You have to know lighting and how to take pictures. There's so many different facets to doing this, and I wish everybody so much luck if they ever want to get into the blogging business, because it's a lot of work and a lot of a lot of time, but I love it. It's a labor of love and I enjoy it, but I apologize sometimes. I never knew I had to be a videographer and a photographer. And that's why sometimes I really get excited and I want to show everything, and you know, sometimes it doesn't really work out. But anyway, I am just sprinkling over here a little bit, two sprinkles Parmesan, and I would say just a wee bit. You don't want to cover it, of mozzarella. Okay, all right, here we go. I'm just going to do it one-handed like I've been doing all this time on my personal page. Here we go, guys. I have a layer of zucchini, I have some Parmesan and some mozzarella, okay? Now, next, here we go. You're gonna put, I'm gonna say 3 tablespoons of this. Actually, I don't need this, hold on. There we go, lots of noise. I don't have my mic on. Just spread that around, maybe 4, okay. I think we're gonna get one more layer. You probably could have used, I probably could have used like 1.5 zucchini. Okay, now watch me layer. You just want to get, you want to like tuck it in too when you're doing any kind of Parmesan, like casserole style Parmesan, you know. Tuck it in the sides. Like I said, don't forget that your zucchini is going to release a lot of liquid, okay? Same thing. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Just about 4 there. I'm going to move these off this way if I can. And I'm going to tuck this one in here on the side. And then like I did before, I'm just going to show you with one hand. I basically just cut this down the center like this. Really should do this on a cutting board. But I'm legit doing this with one hand. All right, and you're just going to tuck that in like that. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Here we go. Look, cheese. That's the parm. I mean, you can't have zucchini parm without parm. A little bit more. I feel like we could have had maybe one more zucchini, one more like half a zucchini slice, but it's okay, it'll work. All right, I'm gonna mix up my little sauce here. This was perfect, by the way. I had the perfect amount. I probably had 1.5 cups of sauce. Tomato puree, you want to call it. Okay. You know, again, remember, this is going to get liquidy as you cook it, okay? So you don't want it to bubble over, especially being we're doing this in the toaster oven. Okay, spreading. All right, I may have actually put too much on that. See, that's everybody. We all do things. I could have used probably 2 more pieces, but it's cool. Totally cool. Make it work. Okay. All right, a little bit of more cheese, because you can never have enough cheese, can you? Can you? I just say no. This is going to puff up too, like a little souffle from the flour and the egg. More parm. I actually meant to grab the mozzarella. All right, I'm not going to put too much on there. I'm going to make this super easy, hopefully not super messy, right over the top. Have my terrific board here that my husband made me. Okay. Actually, this was good. I just, you know, wish I had a few more pieces to finish this up, but it's totally going to work. Hopefully you can see this better. I know you guys love looking at me, but you know, really it's about the food. Kidding, of course. Okay. All right, guys. So this is my zucchini parmesan. I'm going to cover this with a little foil. I'm going to pop it in my toaster oven. I'm going to start it off at like 375. And I will, of course, take massive amounts of pictures and share it. Can you guys see this? I hope you can. And share it with you all when it's done. Zucchini Parmesan, 3 layers, 1, 2, 3, yeah, right up to the top. Okay, you could do this with eggplant. I will let you know how it comes out. Hopefully we'll have a better setup and a better angle on things so that we can share what's actually happening on the board, and I don't have to lift things up. Anyway, I hope you guys have this is my selfie mode. Hope you guys have a great day, and be sure to check this out. Come back here later, and I'll put on my Instagram a picture of the finished product. Fingers crossed. Can't imagine it won't work, but you never know. That's how I roll. I did not test this out. We're doing this together for the first time. So again, the full recipe is on my website under Zucchini Parmesan.